Hello everybody, in today's video I would like to show you how to make your own custom Wii GameCube channel forwarder, that was long, for your Wii menu. Here I will show you an example, a custom channel that I made. It's for Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube, and we go to start. So basically what this does is a shortcut to UsbLoaderGX, as you can see here. It will redirect to UsbLoaderGX, and then UsbLoaderGX in turn will redirect to Nintendon't. I have my Nintendon't modded so it won't show all the text that usually appears, and it will show just a black screen, and then it will boot to the GameCube BIOS, as you will see here. There it goes. So this will come very handy for us to play our games just from the Wii menu. It's really simple, and we will go step by step on this video, and I will show you how to make your own. So in order to make our custom channels, we will need the following programs: HXZ for indicating our channel which game to forward to, WiiGSC to create our channel, CustomizeMii for channel looks. You will also need a dummy WBFS file. It will be deleted later, but I recommend it to be Harvest Moon. I will explain later on the video. UsbLoaderGX, Nintendon't, a WadManager, a WBFS folder on the root of your disk drive, the GameCube game you want to forward to, which needs to be on your SD card, and finally, custom graphics for the created channel. Okay, so we are here on the desktop and we are going to start the process of making our own custom Wii channels. So before starting this, I want to give you a warning, and please make sure you have Priiloader and WadManager installed on your Wii, because when making the channel, wrong handling of the files could possibly create a WAD file that could break your Wii, and it could give you a black screen, or commonly known as a soft brick. So in order to get out of this brick, you need to have Priiloader installed. So that being said, let's start with the process. I have here my dummy WBFS file, which is the one I'm going to use to create the channel. Later you can delete this file, it doesn't really matter, we're just going to use it to create a channel. So here in WadManager, I'm going to use this app to transfer my file to my USB drive, the one I use for my Wii. So it's just simply as clicking transfer and waiting for the process to end. Okay, so once the transfer is finished, we can close WadManager, and we're going to go to the folder where our games are stored on our USB drive. So here on WBFS, and as you can see, here is Harvest Moon Magical Melody, and inside this folder you can find the file, the game file, with the game ID. So the thing we're going to do now is to open HXZ. Once in HXZ, we can go to File, Open, and we're going to open the game file we just added to our USB drive. So right here in this line, you can see the game ID from the game, which is Harvest Melody. So the thing we're going to do now is to look for the game ID of the GameCube game we want to make forward into. So in my case, that game is going to be Battle Stadium Dawn, which is a great game. So you can see here is the game ID, and we are going to put these windows side by side. And the thing we're going to do is to replace the original game ID from the Wii game with the ID of the GameCube game we want to forward to. In this case, the code is G8SJAF. So we can minimize this window, and now on HXZ we're going to just save the game as it is. So the reason I choose Harvest Moon Magical Melody is because it's a really light file. It's not that heavy, it is a really simple game. And when saving this, it's not going to take that long, as you can see. And this just makes the process really quick. And also, its channel doesn't have that many animations. It's like a really simple channel with a big banner. So it's going to make things really simple for us. Okay, so once saving is done, we can close HXD and we will go to the folder where our game file was stored. And here you can see a back file has been created. This is just for backup. You can delete it and nothing's going to happen. So we are going to get rid of it. Okay, so now for the file that actually matters, that is this one right here. We are also going to replace the name of the file, which was the game ID of the Wii game, with the GameCube game ID, like this. As well as the folder name. We have to replace the ID here as well. Note that you need to have your GameCube game stored on your SD card, otherwise this method of forwarding won't work. The folder of the GameCube game has to be the GameCube ID as well. Here's how you will normally save your GameCube games on your SD card, and you can see how you would save the game you want the channel to forward to. Okay, so once this is done, we will open WiiGSC as administrator. Here we will go to open WBFS drive and select the USB drive that we use to open our Wii games. So if we have followed everything accordingly, you will see that instead of Harvest Moon showing its original ID, it will show the GameCube ID that we just edited in. So we select the game and click on Use for Channel Creation. Then on Loader we will select UsbLoaderGX Forwarder. Then click on Create Channel and done. We can find our newly created WAD file in the WAD folder of the WiiGSC folder. We will drag it to the desktop. So right now, the thing that we have just right here is a channel file that when installed is going to forward to our destined GameCube game, and it's going to work perfectly. But it wouldn't really make any sense if every time we wanted to play our anime fighting game, when clicking the channel, we will see a banner of a farming game, right? So right now we have to customize this file. So for this, we're going to use CustomizeMii, which is a well-known app for customizing WAD files. So once in the app, we are going to make use of these 4 tabs that are essential for us to modify this file, which are icon, banner, options, and title. First, we will go with banner. So right here, we have 4 files, of which we are just going to make use of one, which is the most important, the banner background file. This one fits the whole screen when clicking the channel, and we can just put any image that we want on this file. The other files are just marks and logos that sit on top of the big banner, and for this case I don't want to show them. I'm not going to make use of them, and sadly I cannot delete them. So to get over this inconvenience, I'm going to extract these files and then modify them to make them blank. So when installing them and clicking the channel, they will be transparent. It's like we have deleted them. So now we're going to replace all of these files, and note that this file right here, the banner, has a CMP format. So CustomizeMii does not support this format, but at least it gives us other alternatives, which are these ones right here. The first 3 ones on the list are RGB formats. They can show all of the colors of the image you want to display on the banner. The first one, the I8, is going to be the highest quality but the heaviest. The next one is going to be medium, and the next one is going to be small. Then we have black and white with transparency formats. Then we have just plain black and white formats, And for last, we have index color being the CI8 to 256 colors and the CI4 just 16 colors. So why am I explaining this to you? Well, it really is because we need to play with these formats in order to make our final WAD the lightest it can be. Let's say that we have an image that we can put as a banner, but it doesn't really need to have any color. So we will choose then the I8 format to make it black and white. This way we can optimize the size file. It's really up to you to play with these formats and make the final WAD the lightest, so the system menu can handle it properly. So now finally to replace all the files. Here is the pop-up window I told you about. We can just close it and choose a format of our preference. Okay, so I have replaced all the files on the banner and icon tabs. So now we go to the Options tab, and here we have a few things we need to learn about. Title ID is not the same as Game ID. This one is for the system menu to tell apart different channels. Here you can see a 4-digit code that was the channel ID from Harvest Moon Magical Melody. So we can replace this code with any 4-digit code that we want. We just need to make sure that it doesn't override other channel IDs on your system menu, because if it is the same as any other channel, it's going to replace it when installing it. In my case, I'm going to put DON and a random number like 8 to identify this channel. Then on Startup iOS, make sure it says 35. Then we have New Sound, which is the sound that plays when you click on the channel. And for this one, I need to give you another warning. And the warning is that you need to make sure the sound that you are uploading to this file is below 1 megabyte, because the system menu is really bad at handling files that are heavier than 1 megabyte. And the WAD itself needs to be below 1 megabyte, or that's the recommendation, because it could possibly break your Wii because the system menu is going to have trouble loading it. So just make sure that that sound file is as short as possible, and if not, it is just lighter than 1 megabyte. In my case, I am using a tune from DON, which is the character select sound, and I have downloaded it as an MP3 and then converted to a WAV file, and then compressed it to be as light as it can be. When going to browse, we have two options, which are load audio file and convert to BNS. Load audio file is going to just upload the file that we have on the desktop as it is, and it's going to add it to the WAV file. And then convert to BNS is what I recommend, because BNS is another format that it's lighter than WAV file. So we are going to opt for that. On this window we have other options like looping the audio file so it can sound forever. You can even choose where you want to start the looping, but we are not going to make use of this tool. We are just going to convert and load the file. Okay, so we have our sound, we have our channel ID, we have our banner, and we have our icon. The last thing we need to change is the title. So we go to the title tab, and here we are going to delete anything that it is on any other language, and we're just going to put a title in all languages. In my case, it's going to be DON and pretty much anything like Animified. This one is going to be, for example, and we just simply click on Create WAD. The channel now has been successfully created, and as you can see, it is lighter than 1 megabyte, which is what we have been aiming for in order for the installation to go seamlessly and prevent any breaking of our Wii. So once over, we can close CustomizeMii and drag this file to our USB drive to be installed. Okay, so we are back here on the system menu of the Wii, and as you can see, I already have a Nintendon't channel installed, but this is the one I made first. We are going to install the one we just made for this tutorial. For this, we head to the homebrew channel and click on Start. Here on the homebrew channel, I'm going to set the loading to the USB drive, which is where I have my WadManager app. We click on the app and hit load. Here I'm going to access the storage by pressing A, and then we are going to search for WAD file on our USB drive. Once we find our WAD file, we just hit A to select it and install the file. Once installed, we head back to the homebrew menu and then to the WiiGSC system menu. Once on the menu, you can see that the new channel has been installed, and it's different from the first one, since this one has the example title that I told you about, which is Animefied. And it works perfectly, it has sound, and it's going to forward to our destined game. If you wish to add enhancements to your GameCube game, such as widescreen hack or a 60 FPS hack, you can make use of gecko codes. You can apply them by going to UsbLoaderGX, then there locating your GameCube game, and on the settings of the game, adding the gecko file containing set codes. Then, when loading the game through the forwarder, it would load the hacks automatically. That was all for the tutorial. I hope it was useful to you all. If you have any doubts or questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And thanks for watching.